Hi, welcome to PHP tutorial. This is a list of suggestions. What you should do when you watch the video. The notes for this video can be found here, and all the code can be found here at this URL, which is loaded here. And we are somewhere at example 008. We are trying to do select. Okay, we have just connected to the database, so let's make sure that our Apache web server and MySQL database are both running. And let us open our C drive. Let's go to our C drive, temp, myPHP, eg008, and we have our createDB, which shouldn't be there, but we'll just leave it there. We have our connect database. Let's load that thing up. Okay, and we have our database error page. We can also load that thing up. All right, so last time when we stopped was, what happened was, let's see where we stopped. If we go to eg008, try to connect to the database, we'll see a database error because we changed the password to cfoo888. Actually, the password is cfoo88. When we have the correct password, you should see successful connect to the database. But probably we shouldn't show this at all, so I'm going to comment it out. You should see a blank screen, and then we can load this file in other files. And then we can start doing things like we want to pull out all the products in the products table, okay? Product code, product name, and list price, and create a PHP table, create HTML table in a PHP file. So we are going to do that. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to create a new PHP file called eg008c underscore select. .php. Let's open up that file. Okay. We need a HTML skeleton. So I'm just going to copy everything from database error and paste it here. And we are going to change the title. Note that the main.css is also loaded, so that's good. The format is good. Okay. Let's delete. Let's say select. All right. Let's try to load this file. AC select save. Come over here and refresh. Obviously we see nothing but select. Okay. All right. So the first thing we want to do, we want to connect to the database. So we want to load this code on top here before the dot type, before anything actually happens. I want to require once, load all the code here to connect to the database. Okay, I did not use include, but I use require. The difference between include and require is actually very small. If you use include, okay, when the script cannot find a file, include will just give you a warning and carry on, which probably not a good idea if you cannot connect to the database, right? But require will actually give you a fatal error and stop the script. So we use require here. And require once means you just load this file once. Okay. So obviously when you save, Control S to save, and reload, nothing will happen because we have not do any selection or anything. All right. So before we move on, we want to find the correct SQL statement to pull the data out. To write the SQL statement, I'm just going to open a new blank document and say I want to write SQL, say select star from products table where category ID equal to 1. Okay, this is SQL, so this equal is actually equal, not this is not PHP. Okay, so this is the SQL statements we want to use. Control C to copy. To test if it's working, you come over here and say I want to test this. Make sure you select the Kung Fu Panda shop when you test. Select your Kung Fu Panda shop, go to SQL, run the code, keep your finger crossed, you get everything with category ID 1 in the products table. So we want to do the same thing here, and you have tested your SQL statement. You don't want to directly put in the SQL statement here, you want to test it first, make sure it works. Okay, and then you want to do it here. So into your AC select, you create something called okay. You do that, and you don't need semicolon there. But this is actually not good because this is hard coding. Okay, what if I want to choose a category ID later? So hard coding is not good. So I'm going to create another variable, and I'm going to bind this to that variable later. And then I'm going to do all the standard stuff. Create a statement using the DB that we have created here, which is a PDO object. Using a method called prepare to create a statement. And then we bind the value, we bind this to that. Bind value method. This is actually object-oriented statements. Bind this, Control C, Control B, to that. And then we want to fetch the products. Fetch everything. Keep your finger crossed, you should have no error, but you also see no display. So now we want some display. To get the display, I'm going to just quickly write it's like a array of associative arrays, okay? So I'm just going to write it in front. Later I'm going to put in the content below. So it's like an array of associative arrays. Each associative array is P, and I can actually get the content out. For each P, I will have, for each P, I only want the product code, product name, and list price. I don't need category ID, I don't need product ID. So I echo my So for each P, I want the key value pair of the associated array. The key is the product code. The product name. And the list price. And the last one, we want to go to the next line. Control S to save. You will get your table. Oops, syntax error 912. Oh, for each products S. Okay, so you get your table, but not at the right place. It's on top. You actually want it below here as a real table. Okay. So I'm going to create a table first, and I'm going to key in the code. So if you remember how to do a HTML table, and probably I will need my title row. Three columns. So the first column is 160, second column 340, third column is 600 minus those two. So that one is 100, but we don't need to do anything. So I say this is my code. This is my name. And this is my price. So if you look at it here, you will get your table, code name price, right? And if you wanted to have two rows, you just copy this. You have two rows. You want three rows, just copy this. Okay? And you want your first row to be the title, so you bold it. So now your third row, the first row is like a title, and then the rest you have to put in this content for the rest of the row. So you just keep repeating this, right? Okay. So the first thing you need to do is you want to comment out this. You scroll up, comment out this, because if you do not comment out this, the code below will not work. If you for each loop once, they'll put a cursor at the end of the array. You will not be able to load the array unless you comment this out, or you load it again. Okay, so we want to loop this as many times as the for each loop. In order to do that, we put PHP code in front. And we put PHP code at the back. So in front is the beginning of the for each loop. At the end is the end of the for each loop. So you put your beginning of the for each loop in front. You put the end of your for each loop at the back. Control S to save. You will repeat this as many times as category 1, right? And then instead of repeating all the hard code here, we are going to put in the actual thing. Replace HTML with PHP. So now you get PHP code, HTML code, PHP code, HTML code, PHP code, HTML code, so on and so forth. So for the first line, you put in that. Second one, you put in that. And the third one, you put in that. Okay, and you reload. Oops, syntax error again, 47. Oh, I deleted the the PHP closing. All right, so now you have that. Okay, looks good, right? But you need to validate, or else you may not see the error. So to validate the PHP, you view source, copy everything, come back here, markup validator, direct input, finger crossed, no error. You're good. Your PHP file is good. If you have any error, you have to come here and fix it. Okay? All right, so we finished the select statement, and that's a good place to stop. In the next video, we are going to do insert. Okay? Thanks for watching.